I'm back at the hospital. This is where I was August 2020. Now, let me tell you what happened. So I went to the doctor back in August. I think it was like the week of August 9th or something like that, 2020. Now, I was feeling sluggish. I was just going to the bathroom a lot, like every 15 minutes. And man, it just felt like, I don't know, I was just drained. And now, mind you, a lot was going on. I was under a lot of stress at the time. I was overweight. I was dealing with a lot of stuff, man. And so I went to the doctor because just my breathing was off and it was just a couple other things that were going on. And so I was like, man, you know what? I need to go see the doctor. So I'm glad I went to the doctor. I think I went to the doctor's office on a Wednesday. So they did some blood work. And now, mind you, I had gone to the doctor before for like checkup or whatnot, and I'm gonna get to that in a second because 2 years prior to that, I was diagnosed with prediabetes. So hold that thought for a second. So the Wednesday that I went to go in August 2020 to go see my doctor, they did some blood work, and so, you know, he was like, yeah, you know, when the blood work comes back, you know, we'll call you, we'll let you know, and then maybe have you to come in or whatnot. So now fast forward to that Sunday, I get a call from my doctor's office. You never want to get a call from your doctor's office while you're at home on a Sunday. So they said, Mr. Camejo, go stop whatever you're doing. Go to the hospital right now. Go to the emergency room right now. Your blood sugar is came back reading, uh-oh, don't want this to fall down. It's windy out here. So they were like, Mr. Camejo, your blood sugar is reading 400 milligrams per deciliter. It was like over 400, probably like 412 or something like that, which is very, very high. And so they said, stop everything, go to the hospital right now. So I did just that. Matter of fact, I had a loved one to drive me to the hospital. And I remember getting dropped off right here. And, boy, it's windy. So I remember getting dropped off right here. And I remember the look on my loved one's face. It was like, I don't know if I'm gonna see you again. Now, mind you, this is in the height of the pandemic in 2020, COVID. So a lot of people were not coming home after going into the hospital, people who were dealing with all kinds of conditions. So a lot of that stuff was going on in my mind, in my loved one's mind. You just never know, you know, going into the hospital. Now, I didn't go to the hospital often. I didn't have to. I was not a sick person, you know, that always had to go to the hospital. You know, I just didn't have to deal with that. So I remember sitting in the emergency room, and while I was in the emergency room, you know, they're doing the triage, you know, they're doing more blood work, taking vitals, all this stuff. I remember the beeps of all these machines and seeing people coming in and out, people wearing their masks, because again, remember, this is COVID, and you know, so I had to wear a mask and all this other stuff was just going on. I remember the smell, that medicine-y hospital smell, you know what I'm talking about? And I knew for sure, man, I didn't want to be here. So they tell me, hey, we have to admit you to the hospital. Admit me to the hospital, why? Man, they said, sir, did you know you have type 2 diabetes? What? So man, I'm in the emergency room and I learned that I have type 2 diabetes. That's crazy. And then it hit me that 2 years prior, my doctor had been warning me because back then in August 2018, I was diagnosed with prediabetes. And they told me then, hey, this can progress into type 2 diabetes if you're not careful, if you don't change your diet, if you don't exercise. you're going in the wrong direction because your triglycerides your numbers are off. You need to improve there. Your cholesterol level is not where it needs to be. It's not normal. It's above normal. You have high cholesterol, high blood pressure. And I'm like, oh man. So they admitted me to the hospital. And so I was in the hospital for about 5 days, y'all. I was there for 5 days. And during that hospital stay, eating the hospital food, watching the boring television shows. And when you go to the hospital, man, you don't know what's going to be on the television. And it's but so many reruns of Gunsmoke and Martin and all the stuff that you can bear, you know what I'm saying? And so I just had to cut the TV off. And I remember one day I was sitting by the window, and I was just thinking about my life, man. I was thinking about people that I've known who passed away from type 2 diabetes complications. I was thinking about people who got amputations, either toes or a foot or whole legs and stuff like that. And I was like, man, Oscar, what are you gonna do with the rest of your life? And I remember those 5 days, man. And that moment, it all just hit me like, nah, man, I want to live. And so they were getting ready to discharge me. They said, hey, go pick up some medication. This is how you take your insulin. I had to learn to inject myself with insulin. I had to take these pills, and they say follow with your primary care physician, sooner rather than later. And here's a sheet about your medication. And I remember I studied that sheet. They highlighted it. I still have that paper to this day, man. I need to find it. But they was like, here's a list of your medication. This is how you take it, when you're supposed to take it, and don't take too much, don't take too little, eat better and all this stuff, man. And they give you this packet, and it's just like they send you on your way. Man, it was scary, man. So you're talking about not knowing what this disease was gonna do to me, And I just remember that, I had to change. So I ended up leaving the hospital after 5 or 6 days. That must be crazy that they had to keep me there for 5 days. 5 days, man. So anyway, why am I telling you this? With the Beating Diabetes lifestyle, through the podcast, the website, and all this stuff, I just want to help people. I want to help you, You may have been recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and you don't know what to do. You're scared, like I was. You're probably contemplating what the rest of your life is gonna be like. Do I have to change how I eat? I don't even know where to begin. I know, I've been there. You're probably overwhelmed and you're like, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see it coming, but it came. But I want to tell you this, despite the fear, despite the overwhelm, despite the not knowing what to do, today is the first day. It's day one of the rest of your life. What are you going to do with today? We put off doing the necessary and needful things so much, man. I want you to start. I want you to start to change your life now, because you can. There's a lot of things that may be going on in your mind. There may be things going on other than type 2 diabetes that you're dealing with. You may have a support system with your loved ones. You may not. You may be concerned, like, am I gonna die? That's a reality. And I'm not trying to scare you, but I will tell you this, diabetes does not have to be the end. Because I will tell you this, I went into the hospital weighing 268 pounds. I went in with type 2 diabetes. I went in with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and not knowing what the rest of my life was gonna be like. But do you know this? In less than a year, after getting that diagnosis, in less than a year, I was able to lose over 80 pounds. I was able to come off all of my medication gradually. My doctor cleared me. All right, everybody, I'm here with my doctor.
Take your mask off. You're vaccinated, aren't you?
Yes, I am
vaccinated. You can take your mask off.
Okay, great. All right, folks, I'm here with my doctor, just getting a checkup. You know, it's very important to get your health checkup. So I wanted to do something different today. I wanted to give you a chance to hear from my doc. Say what's up, doc.
Actually, it's what's down.
Right.
And what's down is your weight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's had a dramatic impact on your diabetes. You are no longer taking insulin. You're on metformin twice a day, which is a drug that increases insulin receptors in the liver and decreases the amount of insulin it takes your body to control your blood sugar.
Mm-hmm.
By doing this, you're protecting your pancreas and the islet cells that produce insulin, and you're tending to decrease your chances of ever having to be on insulin again. And the metformin also helps you maintain your weight. But concentrating on diet, exercise, and weight loss has increased the number of insulin receptors you have in your liver, your muscles, and your fat cells, which has decreased the amount of insulin your body has to make. When you do this, your appetite tends to go down, making it easier to lose weight, which makes it easier to exercise, which then increases your insulin receptors. So instead of being on a spiral that's taking you into the ground, you're now in a spiral that is lifting you into the clouds. So this is the proper treatment of diabetes. It involves a three-legged stool: diet, exercise, and medications, and the judicious application of all three. And you have done a superb job at the first two, so the amount of medication you need is really quite minimal. So the onset of diabetes is not the end of the world. It's simply the first day of the rest of your life. And the question is, what are you going to do with it?
See, I've been telling you all that. And so my doctor told me, he said, hey, he walked in, I told him what I was doing. He was like, wow. And he was like, hey, you get an A+. And I remember, I think about a year ago, my doctor was like, hey, you need to go ahead and change your life. You know, turn your life around. I'm going to give you some advice. And I did it. So for those of you all who are struggling, you feel like it's the end of the world, you heard from a physician, this guy's trained, you know, we're like best friends now. He just doesn't know it yet. But in case, follow your doctor's order. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. No more type 2 diabetes. I sent it into remission. I reversed it. Not because I did some magic anything. There was no magic pill. There was no quick get off diabetes medication quick plan. No, there wasn't. It was just a consistent decision to show up every day. Yes, I started going to the gym so I could move better because I was just being very sedentary, not moving a lot. Yes, I changed my diet because you cannot out-exercise a poor diet. Yes, I had to cut out the sugar. Yes, I had to go cold turkey when it came to drinking high sugary drinks like soda and fruit juices and stuff like that. And I know that for a lot of you, that it may seem like it's boring. Like, man, eating healthy is boring. Man, eating healthy is expensive. And it can be boring. It can be expensive. It can be overwhelming if you allow it. But I will tell you this, you don't have to upend your entire life and start eating foods you don't like. You just have to eat better, eat healthier, move better, aim to move better, move more. I'm telling you, when it dawned on me that my eating habits had to change, that's when it clicked. And I did what I needed to do. to get rid of the cravings. The cravings didn't go away overnight. No, it didn't. But they went away through some small, practical changes. Now, I'm not here to tell you that in your situation, you're gonna get the same results that I got or that dozens of other people get, but I will tell you this: if you want to achieve better health, you can. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone. Comparison is a thief of progress. I want you to succeed in your journey. Your journey is worth it. You are worth it. We don't ever want to have to come here again. I don't want you to ever have to go to the hospital and experience what I experienced. Maybe you already went to the hospital and you're having to decide what to do. Well, I'm telling you what you need to do, and that's start. My friends, I'm telling you, I'm glad I changed. I lost over 80 pounds and I was able to maintain it. Here it is, 2026. February 2026. It's cold out here. I'm in the best shape of my life because I made a decision to start and to be consistent and to finish the process. I'm not going back. I'm not at all. I'm not going back to the old way that I was living. I am not. And I don't want you to either. So what are you gonna do? Today is day one. You may have started the year strong, with say, hey, yeah, I'm gonna get on this diet program. Hey, whatever you do, start strong. And the way you're gonna be able to finish strong is to be consistent with it and just keep showing up, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. Trust me. So stay focused, keep moving, never go back, leap forward, and bounce back because you can, my friend. And above all else, trust God. You got this. I believe in you.